part of an institution that was built on those values of kindness and compassion and solidarity and fairness. And I am proud to every day to be working amongst colleagues from around the world, as we said, who despite the stress, despite the working conditions, despite the burnout, are working their socks off to deliver compassionate care to everyone that they see. But I went from being a normal doctor to an activist, now I'm labelled, because I was angry. And I was angry and I was devastated at the poor care that I was seeing. It was about 8 years ago, I was working in a mental health hospital, and I saw vulnerable young people being let down and being harmed by funding cuts and dangerous understaffing on that ward I was working in. And now 8 years have gone by, and I know what I have witnessed, and I know many people here have witnessed, that the conditions throughout our NHS have deteriorated. So I'm going to tell you about a gentleman that I met in my clinic last week. And he was an elderly man. About 13 months ago, we had referred this gentleman to the hospital to get treatment for his hip. Now, he came to see me asking for stronger painkillers. So he was an elderly gentleman, and in those 13 months that have gone by, he has become increasingly debilitated, increasingly housebound, and was now living in agonising pain. And I tell you about this gentleman because this is so normal. This has become so normal now. I can tell you, I have hundreds of similar patients, and there are now millions of people just like this elderly gentleman across the country who are living in pain, who are becoming more sick, more disabled, more morbid because of this government, because they have been failed and let down by this government, because of the ideology and the arrogance of this Conservative Party. This Conservative Party who has deliberately starved our NHS and funds. This Conservative Party who for years and years have arrogantly ignored the warnings of people like yourself, of unionists, of campaigners, of health workers. And a Tory government, because of their policies, who have driven out many of my hard-working colleagues from devastating, impossible working conditions and from disrespectful pay cuts. And secondly, we're here today, it's not just about funds. Funds are important to deal with those waiting lists, but it's more than that. And as many of you know, and as many of you have been campaigning about, in recent years, we have seen more and more of NHS contracts being given to the private sector. And we have seen, under COVID, billions of taxpayers' money being funneled into the private health sector. And we're also here today to stand in solidarity. There are right now workers outside Great Ormond Street Hospital, security guards. There are hundreds of NHS Barts workers. They are our colleagues, but they are on strike because they have been outsourced to the private sector. They're getting paid poverty pay. Many of them are insecure contracts, and they've been denied basic workers' rights such as sick pay and maternity pay. Now, these are not our NHS colleagues. They work alongside us. So our final message today is we stand with you in solidarity. Our message to the NHS leaders at Great Ormond Street Hospital and NHS Barts: you need to end this unfair and unjust and discriminatory practice. You need to end outsourcing, bring these workers in-house, and you need to pay them the respect with the wages and pay them respect with decent work-based rights. Now, very finally, they say in this country that the NHS is the closest thing we have to a national religion. And the reason why we say that, the reason why we believe that, the reason why we are here today, the reason why there are events happening across the country, those values that I mentioned at the start, those values of kindness, of compassion, of solidarity, those NHS values, they are our values. Our NHS, and